Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be with you. How excited am I? I put on lipstick for you guys. That's how excited I think it's been like 2 weeks since I've worn any lipstick. So this is really great to have this connection with you guys and to put on some makeup and brush my hair and do all that. I'm very, very excited. So if you don't know who I am, I'm going to give a little introduction as to who I am and my background. If we're just new to meeting one another, I know some of you have met me before, but some of you might not know who I am. So I'm going to give you a little introduction. My name is Madam Pamita. I'm a teacher of tarot and magic. I have been a tarot reader for 35 plus years. I've been a professional spellcaster and I've been casting spells for 45 years. I'm not professionally for 45 years. I wasn't a child prodigy casting spells for others, but I have been casting spells for 45 years. My grandmother was a Ukrainian healer. We know what that means. And I am a candle maker. So I have a new book that's coming out. Well, I'll tell you about that in a second. I'm a candle maker. I have a shop called Parlor of Wonders, Madam Pamita's Parlor of Wonders, which you can find online at parlorofwonders.com. That's parlor, L-O-U-R, with a U, very fancy. On that website too, I want to just kind of give a little side note that there are tons and tons and tons of free resources teaching you how to do magic. It's an amazing, amazing, besides me selling my candles over there, it's a huge repository of magical wisdom. So I encourage you to check it out, even if you are not going to buy a candle. I'm a host of a YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/Madam Pamita. And that's where I teach candle magic, tarot. I got lots of things over there. I'm a blogger and an author. I have a blog on Pathos Pagan called Baba Yaga's Cottage, which is a Slavic magic blog. I also have a blog on my website talking about general magic, spiritualism, and so on. So you can check that out. I have a podcast called Magic and the Law of Attraction, which you can find at magicandthelawofattraction.com. I've got a live magic Q&A that takes place every Sunday where I answer questions just like we're going to do at the end of this. So you want to check that out. You can find out more about that by going to spellsquad.com. And now I get to talk about this. I am the author of the Book of Candle Magic, which is coming out on Llewellyn. It's not even out yet. It's coming out in October, but I do have a picture of it that's in the new Llewellyn catalog. So this is what it's going to look like. It's coming out in October 2020, and that's the Book of Candle Magic. So I'm going to be teaching you something out of that. By the way, if you are interested in that book and you want to learn everything about candle magic, I would encourage you to pre-order it. And you can pre-order it, of course, at the usual places online, including my store. But I'd encourage you to pre-order it from your local bookstore. Let's keep those bookstores alive. They've really had a hard hit. And so you can really support your mom and pop bookstore by giving them a call or an email and pre-ordering the Book of Candle Magic. So I've been trying to encourage people to do that because that really, really, really helps those mom and pops. And you'll get an amazing book in October. So I can't, it's a win-win for everyone. So we're going to be talking about spell candles today. I'm going to be teaching you a super, super easy recipe for making your own spell candle. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Now this recipe is going to be in the book. So if you are, frantically taking notes, don't worry. If you get the book, you'll have this recipe. You'll have everything that you need to know all written down. This book is going to teach you everything about how to do candle magic, not just recipes, but actually the understanding of the principles of candle magic. So before we get started, I want to just talk very briefly about what is candle magic. What are spell candles? Why do we do spell candles? Well, spell candles are done so that we can put focus and intention and bring in the element of fire into our spell. Now, if you have an intention or you have a spell, having candles are super, super traditional for doing spells, because why? We have to focus. You can't not focus with a candle. If you don't focus with a candle, you're going to burn your fingers on that match. So having that focus with the candle spell is something that is helping you to focus your intention. Plus, we can bring in the support of other things that I talk about in the book, like color magic, herbs, oils, and so on. So we can bring in a lot of energetic support to our spells by doing a simple candle spell. So what I'm going to show you today is a rolled beeswax candle, a rolled beeswax candle. And these are some of the easiest candles to create. You don't need to have candle making equipment. You don't need to have pots of boiling water or all those other things. You can make a rolled beeswax candle with no heat whatsoever. Well, there's a little cheat that I'm going to show you if you're in a cold climate, but we'll talk about that in a second. So what you're going to need for this spell are first things I'm going to show you. You're going to need something that's called beeswax foundation, and that's this stuff here. We're going to talk about that in a second. You're going to need some primed square braided cotton wick, and the size, if you go out and look for wick, the size that you want is 2/0 or 3/0. Don't confuse that with number 2, which is #2 or #3. Those are very thick wicks. So they're for big fat candles. You want 2/0 or 3/0 as your size. And you need your wick to be, oftentimes you can get this wick at, a craft store or something like that, but you need it to be about, if you get a roll, you're great, or you need it to be about 1/2 inch longer than your beeswax foundation. In my case, we're going to cut down the beeswax foundation. You need a spiritual oil of some kind. So an example here is something from my shop, which is New Romance oil. We're going to make a love candle in our example today. You're going to need some dried herbs. Now, dried herbs, you can go into your cupboard. You can order special, really special, hard to get herbs. Of course, I sell herbs on my site, but you can get a lot of herbs from your cupboard. And so what I did was I went to my cupboard and I said, okay, what can I do for a love spell? So I've got cinnamon, I've got ground ginger, and I've got ground coriander. Now, we're going to talk about why those herbs are ground and why that makes, why you would want that for this spell in a second. But those ground herbs that you have in your herb spice rack are perfect for this. Another thing that you're going to need are scissors, because you're going to be cutting the wax or cutting the wick. So you're going to need those. Now, some optional extra items that you might want to bring in are parchment paper or foil. And I've got some parchment paper somewhere around here. What do I do with my parchment paper? Well, anyway, something to keep your oh, there it is here. Parchment paper or foil, something to keep your workspace clean, but isn't sticky, because beeswax is a little bit sticky. You can also bring in a hair dryer. If you're in a cold climate or you're making these candles in wintertime, you're going to want to heat up that wax just a smidgen, and having that hair dryer heats it up just enough that it can get soft. But in summertime, you won't have a problem with beeswax foundation and being able to roll that. So what else? Oh, and the last thing, let me give a little plug for some other amazing books out there. You're going to want some books before you get started. If you're not going to follow this recipe directly, you're going to want some books about herbal magic. And so some of the books I recommend are this one that just came out, which is amazing. It's called Wort Cunning. That's an amazing book about herbal magic. We have the old standby that I recommend to everyone, which is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. There's another one that is a new one that I recommend that is called Under the Bramble Arch, and that is a fantastic book about seasonal herbal magic, which is really, really cool. And if you want to make your own oil, if you don't want to purchase an oil, I recommend The Complete Formulary of Magical Oils. This is another amazing book, which you can see I use often. I've even put little tabs on it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful book. So those are some examples. These are the ones that I just pulled off my shelf, but Llewellyn has amazing selection of books about herbs and oils and things like that. So if you're going to get deep into it and you want to know which herb should I use, what is this herb good for in my candle spell, you definitely want to have those on your bookshelf. All right, so let's go over those items. So your beeswax foundation is the thing that you need. Now, beeswax foundation, you can get lots of places online. You can find it. You can even find it on, the usual mega stores online. Beeswax foundation is actually something that was invented for people with beehives. So this is something that they put in the beehive to give the bees a place to build their hive off of. Now, you don't need to have this, but it's something that makes it go faster, and it kind of trains the bees to make those hives in a line instead of kind of loose and flowing. So beeswax foundation, if you can get it in colors, you can get it in lots of different colors. I have here, like, for example, pink, which we're going to be using, but I've got a blue one here, and then there's a lavender one here. So you can get it in all the different colors. And if you get into color magic, you can pick a color that is corresponding to your spell. Since we're doing a new romance spell, we're going to pick pink because we're thinking about love. Beautiful color for that kind of working. Your spiritual oils, again, you can make your own, or you can buy a prepared spiritual oil. I have them up on my site. The herbs that we've talked about, I recommend using powdered herbs. And the reason being, you just need a little bit. Coriander seed usually comes in seeds. It comes in seeds too. But if you put a seed in a fire, what happens? It pops. And so you'll have a candle that will be popping and making noises, and maybe even things catching on fire. So just having this powdered herb or grinding it yourself in a mortar and pestle is a great thing to do. You'll also need, let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. We can get started now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here so you can see what I am doing as I do it here. All right. You can see the edge of my laptop, unfortunately, but you can also see my hands, and you can see what we're doing. So the very first step, let me get my notes so that I don't make a mistake, is that you bring your wick. Now, if your wick is long, you want to cut your wick so that it's just hanging a little bit over the edge. But in my case, my wick is already pre-cut, and it's cut shorter than the wax. So in that case, I'm going to cut the wax down to be the size of my candle. So either you cut the wax or you cut the wick. All right. And you make sure that your wick is going to hang over, because that's the part that you're going to light on the end. Right. All right. Now, if it is cold, this beeswax is very soft and very thin, but if it's cold, it can get hard and rigid. So if that's the case, you want to get your hair dryer out, put it on a warm setting or a hot setting, and just heat it up if you're working in a cold room or a cold climate. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to apply a few drops of that oil, that spiritual oil, over the top side of the candle. You're not going to do anything on the back side. You're just going to do it on the top side. So in this case, I'm going to put a few drops on my fingers, and I'm going to rub it over there. Now, as I'm doing that, I can be saying my spell words if I have prepared spelled words, or I could be, speaking my intention. I want an amazing new romance to come into my life. This perfect partner is going to be my perfect soulmate, and et cetera, et cetera. You can add that, either, your prepared words, or just like I like to do, just say what's on my heart. The next step is you're going to sprinkle small pinches of your dried herbs over the top. I emphasize the small because guess what? Lots of herbs means lots of flammable material. And if you have lots of herbs on your candle, you're going to have a candle that catches fire in weird and dangerous ways. And I don't recommend that. I often tell people with their magic, more is not better. You just want the support of those herbs, right? So coriander is an amazing, that I just put on, is an amazing herb for bringing in a true love. Here's my ginger, which is going to bring in passion and excitement into my relationship. You can rub those in. You could say your spell words as you're doing that. And then a cinnamon. Oh, that's like that sexual chemistry of cinnamon. Now, see, I put it in my hand first because look at that. I put way too much in my hand. And I just want a little tiny pinch. So that way I can control it rather than sprinkling it right on top. All right. Let me put that down there. Brush off my hands. All right. So remember, if you're putting in things like lavender, you might want to grind it before you put it in. You might want to make it a little more powdery and not have something that's lots of vegetative material in your candle. Okay, so because you don't want to have a crazy fire. Believe me, as a candle magic person, I have seen crazy things happen. So everything, your oils and your herbs, you want to keep them in the border. You don't want to bring them out all the way to the edge. You want to kind of keep a little 1/2-inch border around. Now, the next step is the really fun part. you get to wrap the wax around the wick. Now, if you're making a candle to clear away something, you want to get something and you want to push it away from you, you can roll it in a direction away from you. If you're making a candle for something that you want to bring to you, you can start at that edge because we want to bring that amazing new romance into our life, right? You can start at the edge that's far away from you, and you can slowly roll that wax around your wick. Look at that. Nice and soft, very easy to do. It's a nice warm day today, so this is no problem for me to roll that very tightly. As I'm rolling this, I can be saying words of my spell. Bring my beautiful, perfect partner to me, my true love, my soulmate, etc., etc. And I can be saying that as I roll it up. So now, once I've rolled the candle completely and get the cat hair out of it, I have a new kitten. I have an old cat, not an old cat, but I have 2 cats in my house, so there's cat hair everywhere. All right, so once you come to the end of it, you're going to have a little bit of a seam. As you can see here, there's a bit of a seam here. You can press that seam into the candle, right? And now if it's hard, you can use a hairdryer to help you, but that keeps it all together. Now I'm going to turn it back up to me. Look at that amazing, amazing spell candle that we made in 5 minutes. Is that awesome or what? This is so, so, so cool. Once you've rolled that up, so you can light your candle on a special day. Like if you have a special day that you want to start your spell. For love spells, for example, you could start your spell on a Friday and have that be the start of your spell. Let your candle burn completely, or you can let it burn a short piece every day and like let it burn like half an inch every day. And then as you go down, make it 7-day candle or 3-day candle or something like that. There's lots and lots and lots of options. I talk about all of this stuff in the book. So you can learn about days of the week, times of the moon phases, all kinds of timings of the day in terms of times of the day and times that you can divide your candle up in that book. So you will for sure want to check that out. Let's see. Oh, one other thing I'm going to share with you. If you want to get crazy and experimental, you can do something like cut a piece of wax in a right triangle. So you see that I'm doing here. And then when you roll this, let me show you this. This is very, very cool. I'm going to pretend our wick is long enough. But you can roll this and you're going to have then a tapered candle, like a kind of pyramid shape. So there's a little thing that you can do that's kind of makes it interesting if you want to. Just another little option that you can do with this foundation. So now we're going to pretend you put the oil and the herbs and everything on there. Now you have this tapered candle. So you can either do a straight cylinder or you can do a taper. You can do it however you want. Super beautiful, super cool, something so magical that you can make. And it is the easiest thing in the world to do. By the way, I want to throw in one last thing about beeswax. All the candles that I make on my site are made with beeswax. And the reason I love beeswax is because it has little bits of honey in it. This is beautiful for spell workings where you're trying to sweeten something or improve something. Those bees, this is a secret, amazing fact that you can drop, I don't know, the next time you talk about honey. Those bees make 1 million trips to flowers to make 1 ounce of beeswax. You're getting all of the energy of all of those flowers, all of the work of the bees supporting you in your intention. That's why I love beeswax. It is an amazing, amazing substance for working magic. And it's something I'm super passionate about. When you buy beeswax, you're supporting beekeepers, which means you're supporting bees and that we need to save the bees. So that's my little plug for the bees. So I think that is everything I need to tell you about how to make your own candle, and we can open it up to the Q&A now if you're ready. So thank you so much for sharing this with me and letting me show you this. This is something I've been itching to show. I don't have a video up about it. I haven't shown it. It's in my book, but I haven't been able to show it. So it was super fun for me to be able to show this here and to be able to teach you guys how to do DIY candle magic. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm getting all these thank yous. Heather, thank you so much. Emma, thank you. Diana says, I can't wait for your book. Thank you so much. Amy says, love you. I love you too. Sharon saying, thank you. Christine saying, thank you for the Save the Bees message. Super important. Okay, so now I'm getting to questions. All right, if I can scroll back down. Jennifer has a question. Do you add any carvings to your candles? In general, on a smooth candle like this one, you can carve on a candle. It's easy to do. You've got a smooth surface. You can take a knife, a nail, a scribe tool, and write on the candle and, you know, write an intention or whatever it is that you want. That's something that you can do on a figural candle. It's something you could do on a taper candle. It's a little bit harder on this because it's kind of rough. It wouldn't be something that I would recommend, but there's a sneaky trick that I talk about in my book, which is if you're working with beeswax versus paraffin. Paraffin is a very hard wax, so it's not, you can't mold it with your hands, but beeswax, you can mold with your hands. So I can take this piece of beeswax here, for example. I'm just going to tear off a piece of that foundation. And if I sit with it in my hands, I can mold it, right? And I can make it soft like Play-Doh. It's going to take a minute, but you can mold shapes and you could mold it into like a thin snake. And if you do that, you could spell words out with that thin snake of beeswax, press it into the side of the candle. So you can see it's already molded into a softer. And you could mold like a thin snake, and you could spell out what you wanted and you could put it on the side of this candle. That's how I would recommend doing it, because the carving won't work on this because it's not like a smooth surface. So that's a great little sneaky trick you could do. Thank you, the Miss Sierra. Thank you so much for all those hearts. And Gina says this is totally new. Yay. Pamela says, love your talk. Definitely be purchasing your book. Thank you so much. And if you have the ability, if you have a local mom and pop bookstore, give them a call or give them an email and support those little mom and pop bookstores so they can stay afloat. I really am encouraging you to do that because it really is, it has a profound positive effect. Leah said that was awesome. Thank you so much. Tony says, I never thought of beeswax, so this was so informational. Beeswax is an amazing tool. Let's see. I'm going to get, okay. Oh, okay. I can't find colored beeswax foundation. Beeswax foundation, if you buy it from the beekeeping supply places, is not colored. But if you look up beeswax candle making, you'll come across colored foundation. You'll find it in different colors, but the basic one is just plain beeswax. It's cheaper if you buy it from a beekeeping supply than if you buy the candle making kits, but you can buy candle making kits. I know that, for example, there's a company called Magic Cabin that makes the kits, and they'll give you like 10 or 15 different color sheets and the wick and everything that you need. So thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, Stephanie. Is the colored beeswax foundation on the site? No, but I should have it on there. Maybe I'll get it there soon. Christine says, can't wait to read your book. Thank you so much. Annette says, I love this and thank you. Please, the internet for my shop. Repeat the internet for your shop. So for my shop, it's the Parlor. It's parlorofwonders.com. So it's PARLOUR of wonders. Wonders with an S at the end, .com. If you go to parlorofwonders.com, you'll come to my site. That's where you can find me. That's where you can find the candles that I make. And I guess I'll get some colored beeswax foundation in there and you guys can buy it there. Magic Cabin makes a great kit. So I'll just get some of those Magic Cabin kits. Would you be able to carve inside the beeswax candle? Not so much with these because, again, the surface isn't that, but you could do the little thing that I said with the snake and make it super thin and then spell it out and put that inside. I don't recommend putting paper, like a paper note inside the candle either, because that can catch on fire and then we don't want fires. That's not good. Extra fires beyond our candle fire. We don't want that. Beeswax, Yuki says, beeswax candles are my favorite candles to burn for my spells. Also too, you guys, beeswax candles burn super clean. So if you have issues with smoky candles or the chemicals that paraffin releases, it's not a problem if you're burning one paraffin candle, but if you're burning a lot of paraffin candles, it can really do a number on your lungs. And so beeswax candles are clean for, you know, the air, your internal air. Yeah, so Yuki says I didn't know I had no idea that making them yourself could be so simple, though. I'm excited to try. I'm excited for you to try too. It's so much fun. Cam says, thank you so much. This is exactly what I needed. Bruce says, neat stuff. Thanks, you guys. Amy says, if you're rolling your candle and the wax sheets were to crack, can you just say it was too cold or you rolled too fast? It's not necessarily symbolic of something, is it? No, cracking wax means you're in a cold room. It's winter time and it's too cold. And that's why you have that hair dryer, that optional hair dryer. So you can just warm it up a little bit with your hair dryer. And then when you roll it, it'll just be like butter. It'll be so easy to roll and you won't have a crack. Chris, hi, Chris. Thank you so much. Jennifer says, great, thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. Gwen says, thank you so much for everything you shared. Beautiful, beautiful, practical, and fun. I love the pun, wick and wicca. Yep. It's Wicca Wick. That's what we're doing. Let's see. You could make it a medallion instead of a snake and carve that in after fixing that to the rolled candle. Absolutely, 100%. You could make shapes. You could put symbols. You could do hearts. I mean, you could, you know, mold this into a little heart and put it on there, or put a $sign if you're doing a prosperity spell and your $sign means money for you. Christy says, can't wait for your book. I can't wait for my book either. I'm super excited. Do you have a beeswax supplier that you recommend? In terms of the Beeswax Foundation, the kit that I know of is done by Magic Cabin. So if you put Magic Cabin candle kit, you'll find it in all the usual places. I'll probably get them up on my site so that you can get them there as well. What else? That would be where I would recommend. You can also get that foundation from beekeeping supply places, but again, they're just going to have the natural beeswax color, which is like a golden yellow. Beautiful, amazing, you know, but it's a little bit cheaper there because you're buying it from, you know, kind of like they're doing beehives. They're not making candles, so you're having that you know, being more practical and as a result cheaper. Christy says, can't wait for your book. Thank you so much. Thanks, Lolly. Severus says, thanks for the presentation. I have a store-bought candle, which I dressed as a devotional to Lilith. Can I use the melted wax to make new devotional candles since the candle wasn't used for a particular spell? It's lovely with crushed rose petals and glitter, and I just hate to throw the wax away. Severus, it depends on whether the candle was paraffin or whether the candle was beeswax. If it is a beeswax candle, it's super easy to melt, and you can melt it in your oven at the very, very, very lowest setting. So put it on warm, on the W of warm, like the lowest you can put your oven. Beeswax melts at 150 degrees, 155, 160, somewhere in there. So you can put it in a nonstick pan, or you can put it in a pan of some kind that you add parchment paper to, and then you can melt down that candle. If you make it into a thin sheet on that cookie sheet, for example, nonstick cookie sheet, or on parchment paper on that, you can then soften it with a hairdryer and you can roll it up that same way. The only thing I would say is regarding that, number one, make sure you use parchment or you use a nonstick tray, because otherwise your wax is going to stick. Paraffin, I'm not sure of, because I don't work with paraffin, but I know paraffin's a harder wax, and so I can't give you the degrees or tell you how to do that. And you can't roll paraffin because it's crack. It's not soft like beeswax. It won't roll. It will just crack. So other than that, yeah, If it's beeswax, yeah. If it's paraffin, you're going to have to do your research and due diligence online because I can't help you with that one. How can I do a long spell burn on a candle safely with cats? I'm a cat owner. Here's what I do. I put my candles in places that my cats don't get to and that there's nothing dangerous around. You don't want to burn a candle. By the way, this is what I say with everything. Don't burn a candle when you are not able, when you're asleep or you're leaving the house. You snuff the candle out and you relight it when you come back. Don't burn candles near any kind of curtains blowing or shower curtains or anything like that. But you could burn your candle in a room and close the door off from your room to your cats. Put it someplace high. I burn candles. I have candle stands, and I burn candles actually on my hearth. And my cats are smart. They don't get into it. So, and they don't knock them over. But I keep an eye on them, and I only burn them when I'm at home. So, all right. I think is it time for us to go? Yeah. No, we still have some time. Okay, good. So let's see. Yes, Lauren says that beeswax releases positive ions when it burns. It helps to purify the air. Absolutely, 100%. That is not the case with paraffin. But like I said, burning one paraffin candle, you're not really going to have a problem. But if you're burning like 20 paraffin candles, you're releasing a lot of chemicals, benzene, toluene, not good chemicals into the air. Paraffin is a byproduct of the petroleum industry. It's very cheap. It was something that they used to throw away, and then they figured out, oh, we can use it to make candles. But you're using a petroleum product, and it does have some chemicals that are not nice if you're burning a lot of them. Oh, someone posted a link on Amazon. If you want to, on Amazon UK. So there's places that you can get foundation. You can look up, and you can do it at Amazon, or you could probably find it somewhere else too. Do you have a favorite time to make your candles, like full moons? That is a great question. You can do as much timing stuff as you want. So if you have a special moon, for example, that you want to work with, maybe it's not necessary, it could be the full moon or the new moon, you can do that. And I talk about that in the book, The Timing of Your Spells. You could certainly do a candle at the new moon and then light it on the full moon, or vice versa. You could create the candle on one and then light on the other. You might want to pick astrologically a specific time, a special time that you want astrologically. Like maybe you're doing a love candle and the moon is in Cancer. Oh, you're going to get that cuddly love, that sweet, super nurturing kind of love. And that's what you want. You can make your candle during that time, and you could light it right then too. And then you're getting the support of the astrological things that are going on in your spell. So there's another way that you can support your spell work so beautifully. Yes, so someone posted parlorofwonders.com. That's my website. Thank you, Gina, for posting that. Christy said it would be great to get it from you. Yeah, I'll get them up there. I just have to do it. Gemstones. Sharon has a question about gemstones. Gemstones won't burn, so they won't catch fire. And if you wanted to put little gemstone chips on the outside or the inside of your beautiful candle, you could press them in. You know, that would be an amazing thing to do. I am obsessed with something that I've discovered. So as you know, a lot of times I like to work with glitter. So, but you know, in candle spells, I like to put glitter on candles. Glitter is like a little mirror. So you can use it to push something away, or you can use it to attract something, right? Depending on if you're getting rid of something or you're bringing something in. However, glitter is problematic because it's made out of microplastics. And we know, remember those scrubby beads that people were using for their facial scrubs and how bad it was for the environment because it would go out into the ocean and then fish would swallow it? Well, the same is true of glitter. However, there is something called glass glitter. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful glass glitter. So glass glitter is actually more sparkly than plastic glitter. It's super beautiful. And you can use that. And if it gets into the environment, it's completely safe. Glass doesn't cause a problem. It doesn't degrade. It's silica. It's what the beach is made of. And so if a fish swallows, for example, some glass glitter, it's not going to have the same effect as plastic. It's just going to go right through them. So glass is an amazing resource. And if you like to put glitter on your candles, glass glitter. And glass glitter, I do have going up on my website very soon. We have it in stock, and I'm just going to put that up in the next couple of days. So that's a very exciting thing in the candle world to have that glass glitter. Write the oil down. So if you go to my site, you'll see Madame Pamita's spiritual oils. If you go onto my site, you'll see the oils. You can purchase them. I've got tons of beautiful oils for sale. They're made with essential oils and herbs. You can see, I think you can see the herbs that are in them. There you can see the herbs and the essential oils and the color that supports your intention. That's all in there. So I also want to let you guys know that if you order stuff, we always give out free samples of the oil so that you can try them out and test them and smell them. Because I think we don't have smell-o-vision like they were promised us in the year 2000. We were going to have smell-o-vision, and we still don't have it. So instead of you having to guess if the oil scent is going to be something nice for you, you can get those free samples and try it out. They all smell lovely. As far as I'm concerned, they smell amazing. So I work really hard and learned perfumery so I could make these magic oils that not only work, but they smell good too. So that's the oil, Meadow. Sharon had that great question about gemstones. You can put the gemstone inside or outside, and those little gemstone chips can be very, very beautiful. And then you can fetch that gemstone out of your remaining wax and turn that into a little talisman if you put a big gemstone, for example. Gina posted my site. Thank you so much, Gina. Karen says, if you have cats and want to burn candle for hours, days, I put mine to burn inside the sink. If a cat knocks it over, hey, it's just going to go out in there. That's a great example of some resourceful things. Same thing with the bathtub or the shower. If you don't have a shower curtain or a shower curtain on your bathtub, you don't want anything near candles burning near cloth, but you can do it in the sink or you can do it in bathtub or shower. Thank you so much, Karen. Yes. So Sharon asked, can you add gemstones? Yes. Yes, Jennifer says, I have 5 cats and only burn candles when I can keep an eye on it. I recommend that for anyone, even if you have no cats. Make sure that you can keep an eye on your candles because candles do crazy things. And I've seen everything that can happen to a candle happen. Exploding candles, candles falling over for no reason, candles catching on crazy fires. Oh my gosh, I've seen it all. So that's why I always recommend that I insist that you burn a candle when you are at home and you are awake, not when you're sleeping, because they do crazy things. Does your book talk about making candles with materials other than beeswax? I talk about making candles, but I also talk about dressing candles, doing candle layouts, using color with candles and all of those things. I don't talk about making candles with things other than beeswax because beeswax is what I recommend for spell work. And it's kind of what I promote because it's healthier and better. It's not a candle making book, although I do have candle making directions in it. It's a candle magic book. So we're talking about all the levels of candle magic. So using figural candles, using taper candles, how do you do timings of spells? How do you work with colors and magic? Golly gee, what else? It's everything that's in my brain in a book. It teaches you, it's the book that I wanted to be out there about candle magic. So there are a ton of amazing books about candle magic that are recipe books. Take a green candle, light it on a Friday, do this, do that, say this, say that. But they're recipe books. They don't explain, why are we picking a green candle? Why are we lighting it on this day? Why are we using 3 candles instead of 2 or 4 or 7? And my book breaks down each of those elements: numerology, astrology, colors, timings, everything, layouts. It goes from very, very beginning, very elementary candle magic to very, very advanced layouts. And it has every explanation of how you do it. So the ultimate goal of my book is to teach you to be a candle magic master so that you can create your own spell and design your own spell with the things, the numbers, the herbs, the whatever, the colors, the timings that support your work in the very, very best way. So that you don't have to go, oh, I have to look up a spell, but I can't find a spell for this certain thing that I want. You don't need to have a recipe put out there for you. You can create, with my book, you can create your own recipe. That book does not exist out there. And that's why I wanted to create this book, so that you guys could learn everything that's in my head when I create a spell for a client, when I do spell work. What am I doing? I wanted to explain it and teach you guys so that it's like, instead of giving you a fish, I'm teaching you how to fish. How do you like that? So that you can make candle spells forever. Someone put the Lady Raven. Thank you, Karen. Karen says, can't wait to get the book. This is so great. Thank you so much. Lady Raven, put the link to Magic Cabin and probably the link to the kit so that you can find it there. Magic Cabin's a great company. They do all this Waldorf kind of magical stuff for kids. And this is one of them. This is something you can do with your kids, by the way. That rolled candle, nothing hot, nothing that can hurt them. So it's a great project to work on with your kids. Becky says, thank you, Gina. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Will says, thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Sharon. Kathleen says, thank you for including those safety warnings. I always do. I've seen it all. So I am very aware of safety in candle magic. Christy says, thank you so much. So interesting, helpful, and fun. Severus says, thank you, you guys. Barbara says, candle making so easy. Even a non-crafty person like me can do it. Totally. That's my goal as a teacher, is to empower you to be able to do magic on your own. And that is my goal in life. That's my mission in life. That's why I'm a teacher, because I want you guys to learn. And so that's why I wrote this book. And by the way, if you want to know more about candle magic, or you want to see more videos about candle magic, please head over to my site. If you go over to parlorofwonders.com and you go over to instruction, I've got videos. I've got a candle magic how-to guide. I've got all kinds of blog posting and resources to teach you. So if you like videos, you can watch videos. If you like to read, you can read. It's all there. So I really, really encourage you. Tons and tons of free educational resources over there. It's like a free school in witchcraft right over there. Magic, spell, intentions, all of that. Okay. The name of the book. Let me show you the name of the book. Let me show you the book. It's the Book of Candle Magic. It's a hardcover book, you guys, and it's $18. Super exciting. $18.99. It's the Book of Candle Magic. It's a little hardcover book. It's a plum-colored book with gold and silver foil on it. So fancy. I was so excited when I saw that. So it's going to be coming out in October. You can pre-order it at any of the usual places, including my website. If you pre-order on my website, you just have to give us your name and address. And then when it comes out, we notify you, email address, we notify you and let you know that it's available. And then you can order it then. You can get signed copies over there. But like I said, I encourage you to get it from your local mom and pop store. It really helps everyone. It helps the mom and pop store. You get an amazing book. It helps me as an author, because if you order it, they probably will order an extra copy for the shop. So that helps out me. And it helps keep these places alive so that when all this stuff ends and we can go back to having live in-person classes, myself and other authors have places to go and to teach you and show you and have talks and book signings and all those things. So that's a really important thing. So that's why I'm really encouraging people to go, yeah, you can get it from me, but you can get it from your local mom and pop, and it really helps everyone when you do that. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. So much great information. Lolly says, I put my candles in the bathtub and lock the cats out for long burns. That's a great way to do that. Kathleen says, what do you think of soy wax for spells? Soy wax is a very soft wax. So soy wax can't be molded into a taper unless it's mixed with another wax. So sometimes you'll see pillar candles that say they're soy wax. They're not 100% soy wax. They're probably soy wax mixed with paraffin is what they are. If they're a freestanding pillar candle or a taper candle, soy wax is it's like butter. Now soy wax will work great in a jar candle. It will definitely do that. But you can't do it for molding candles or for doing something like this. It's not firm enough. So it's like butter. So thank you so much, everyone. I think our time is up. Llewellyn Book says, thank you to Madam Pamita and for attending. Thank you guys so much. It was so great to be here. I hope I see you again soon. And thank you for buying my book. Yay. Thank you. I don't know if I have